Hello and welcome to Speak FA's preview of the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix from the beautiful Imola circuit in Italy. Sadly, it may well be the last time that Formula One visits that circuit, at least in the foreseeable future. There is no contract for next year. There doesn't seem to be a pathway back to the calendar for this historic Italian venue, which is a bit of a shame. I guess it comes with the times of modern Formula One and its huge global popularity, but what a fantastic old school, old fashioned circuit, fast flowing. It's been modernised. Of course, it does have quite a checkered history, but it's in a stunning part of the world, and there's just something good about the European Formula One season firing up again. There's something nice about Formula One coming home. This is the heartland of Formula One in Europe, and there's always something special when that European season fires up. So it will be all eyes on Franco Colapinto this weekend as he makes his debut for the Alpine Formula One team and return to Formula One after being sidelined following that brief but, fairly spectacular stint with Williams at the back end of last season. Now, of course, he joins in place of Jack Doohan, who was unceremoniously dumped after the first 6 races of the season. It's a huge shame for Jack. Didn't get much of a chance there, particularly with the way it unfolded, with the fact that Franco Colapinto had already been signed. It really felt like he was on a hiding to nothing poor Jack there. It does just heap so much pressure on Franco. Of course, in that stint towards the end of last year, we did see him be so fast at times, so spectacular. He scored points. He did a fantastic job. Hey, he wrecked some cars as well. So he's sort of in that fast but furious category. The pressure's really on him now. He comes in with so much expectation to deliver something for Alpine. They obviously need him to do better than what Jack Doohan was doing. Jack was doing a pretty reasonable job, and it's really up to Franco now to do better than that. This is a 5-round deal. It's hard to see them making another change, but you never know. They've sort of drawn that line in sand and said, hey, you got 5 races, Franco, to prove that you are worthy of the seat and that you are a better choice than Jack Doohan. So there will be a lot of eyes on Franco this weekend. It will be one of the key storylines across the entire Grand Prix. We do head in this weekend with a bit of an update on the swearing saga that has weirdly dogged the FIA and Formula One mostly for much of the year. There have been some changes to those guidelines from the FIA. They've softened them a little bit, which is absolutely the right thing to do. There is a bit more guidance that the stewards can use on what is controlled and non-controlled situations, where in the non-controlled there might be a little bit more leniency towards some swearing. They've dropped the baseline fine from €7,500 to €5,000. Is it going to cause a mass influx of swearing? Absolutely not. Hopefully what it does is just give some of the superstars of the sport, your Max Verstappens in particular, a little bit more peace of mind, and maybe they'll speak out a little bit more, because we need the stars and the heroes of this sport saying what they think, showing us their opinion, showing us their personality. It really is a critical part of capitalizing on the current popularity of Formula One around the world. So what do we expect to see this weekend? Well, there's a good chance we're going to see McLarens at the front. If you think back to last year at Imola, Max Verstappen did win with Lando Norris hot on his tail. As I said at the top, it is one of those old school kind of circuits where the driver can make a bit of a difference. And, I think we could see Max Verstappen do something spectacular in qualifying. He's done that a few times this year, although it's been a bit harder on the Sundays to convert that. So I wouldn't be overly surprised if we see Max somewhere near the front on Saturday. He could be a bit of a thorn in the side of the McLaren drivers there, but maybe not. We have seen those McLarens being so fast. If we see a mistake-free performance from both Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris, they could very well lock out the front row, and then, boy oh boy, there could be some fireworks there. Oscar has certainly proven this year that he's not backwards when it comes to racecraft, to putting himself in the fight on the racetrack. He's a pretty determined, fierce competitor. Few question marks over whether Lando is the same, but if Lando really wants to fight for this World Championship, he needs to start showing that, and we could well see that this weekend. So even if we have a bit of a McLaren cakewalk this weekend, if that is what happens, it's going to be super exciting to watch. It is still so close between those two drivers. There's not that much to split them. Oscar's been on a roll, but Lando's going to come fighting back. That is something that is just going to happen, because both those guys must recognize this is their chance to win a world championship. The regulations change next year. There are no guarantees that McLaren will continue to be the benchmark car. So it's really critical for both of those guys to try and notch up a world championship while it's right there in front of them for the taking. And then you've also got Mercedes, who have kind of been in the mix all year as well. That car hasn't been spectacularly fast, but super consistent and probably a bit faster than most people thought it would be. Kimi Antonelli on home soil for the first time. He was really quick in Miami over a lap. It might be interesting to see what he can do in qualifying. And George Russell, he just seems to end up on the podium every weekend. Somehow, some way, he just gets that done. So the Mercedes, they could well be in the fight. Ferrari's been the real disappointment of the year so far. They've really struggled. They head to home soil now. We're not expecting the raft of big upgrades that usually come with the start of the European season. That's likely to come at the next race. So it could still be tough going for Ferrari and its drivers, Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton. But if there's anywhere you're going to lift your game, surely it's got to be there in front of the Tifosi in Italy. Stay tuned to Speak FA across the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix weekend. We'll have all the news and reaction and reports. We'll have it all covered. You won't want to miss it. Stay tuned.